Hello, my lovelies. Oh, it's a bit shadowy, but I can't help that. So, a little bit of frivolity after previous two videos, which have been a bit heavy-handed. Ironically, we have quite a lot of shadow going on here. So this is A Tale of Two Alices, with apologies to Charles Dobson and Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities, and Charles Dodgson is Lewis Carroll's name. So it's a tale of two Alices and a tale of two Charlies through the brain of a strange creature. Okay, so we're going to look at the Alice Tarot by Barber Studios and the Wonderland Tarot by Barbara Moore and Eugene Smith. Now, I've had the Barber Studios Tarot, well, since the pre-release came out, and the Wonderland Tarot I've had about a week, 10 days maybe. I wasn't going to get it, but I was kind of looked at it and was persuaded, and I do like Barbara Moore, so I'm going to go through both of them and show you the cards and just talk a little bit about how I feel they work. And I made a little tea party here with some of my favourite china. Thumb pie, well, this is actually a blackberry and apple pie, locally grown apples in my garden, locally harvested blackberries. They were both in the freezer because they're not grown this time of year. With vegan pastry and vegan coconut yogurt. They are called thumb pies because the pastry is a recipe by Genius Kitchen for vegan pastry, and you don't roll it, you press it in with your thumbs. And I have my heart-shaped dishes, and I get a big teacup which came from my honeymoon in Portugal, and a little teacup because we have the big and the small of Alice and Co. And I have a little teapot. Look at that little baby teapot. That came from Portugal too, I think. And a big teapot, which is my clanger teapot. And I had that before my tabby was born. So it's 26, 7 years old. Real tea in the teacup. There we go. So here we are. A little plate, a little spotty plate, which I'm going to put my thumb pie on. And I might have a bite. Oh my god. It's good, man. So, no talking with your mouth full. Slurp of tea. We don't have a Mad Hatter here. I'll probably find a Mad March here though. Hold it right there. Now, where shall I put the Mad March hare? Here he is. He was my mummy's. My mum, I've been into hares. I've been crazy about hares all my life, and one day I'm going to make a video about them. But my mum got into hares, my dearly darling mother, because I loved hares, I think. And she had a lot of hares in her house, and I wanted to bring a lot of them back, but this was a small one that I could bring back. But she had big bronze ones and all kinds of hares, and I collect hares too, so we'll put him there. I still can't really see him now. The March hare. So, the Barber Studios Tarot comes in one of their really nice little boxes with a little card and a little card, and it has a little white book which has got basic little bits of meanings about the card and keywords and things. Mainly it is, both decks are Rider-Waite-Smith based, and there's an artist card. Is this gorgeous? tea party card, which is a thank you card. And then there's the cover card, and you can see that beautiful gold leaf, gold foil on it. This deck's been reviewed a lot of times on YouTube and looked through, so I'm not going to go crazy with it. But I don't think it's been compared to this one before. And if it has, I apologise, and I wouldn't have spent all this time and trouble had I known. So there's the gorgeous box. And Tarot in Wonderland has the lovely Llewellyn new magnetic boxes. But poor old, and the inside is gorgeous with the Cheshire Cat, pardon me, the chessboard from Through the Looking Glass and the lift out ribbon. But unfortunately, it's a bit of a fail because when you put the cards in, they don't fit in the well, so they all fall out all over the place, which isn't too bad. And then you put the book on top and it just about keeps it together. But the well needs to be deeper, but we won't worry too much about that. They keep trying, Llewellyn. They've had those big yucky boxes and they've had the little black bags, which would have been good in there, here, that people moaned at, and they've had different card stocks, and they've had the blooming lot. So that's the boxes, which I've got to put them out of the way, or there's not going to be room to do everything else. Again, both books are brilliant, I have to say. I really like the content of both books. They're both shiny and sort of glossy. I kind of worry it might fall to bits, but hopefully it won't. It looks like it's... No, it's not perfect bound, which is good. They're arranged... They've both got spreads in. They've both got a bit of background. The spreads... The beginning of the Barbara Moore Wonderland book has got a really nice chapter on, like, more introduction to tarot. The beginning of it talks about the concept of the Alice Tarot. And again, lots of people have reviewed this deck too. And how to read the cards. And that's kind of a general chapter, but it's full of good advice for beginners. I mean, if you were just going to get into tarot, or knew someone who was getting into tarot, and also was an Alice in Wonderland fan, this would be the most perfect gift. Because it does teach you all the beginning stuff. And Alice in Wonderland is quite a good story to base a tarot on, actually. And then you go through the cards, the majors and minors. And the Barbara Moore book has got each thing about the cards. You've got Through the Looking Glass, which is kind of more related to the story and how that fits in with why they've chosen that card, or that part of the card. And then you've got Down the Rabbit Hole, which is basically the divinatory RWS kind of traditionally based meaning. And then you've got keywords. So you've got that for all of the cards. I mean, the spreads are at the back of the book. And I've got to say, I did one, and I can't remember which one it was. Oh God, I've forgotten already. Might have been the Rabbit Hole. Anyway, I want to try them, but I haven't read the Alice books for years. And I couldn't find my one, or it would be here, but I think I actually gave it to Tabby, my daughter. I mean, I've had a few copies, but having moved around a lot, and I've kind of lost them. But I remember that, I think the main ones Tabby got, because I gave her my original Alice Tarot and a few other Alice Tarot decks. So now the Bubba Studio book, again, this one's got an introduction at the beginning. This, by the way, you have to buy it separately. It doesn't come with the deck. You just get the little white book with the deck. And it tells you roughly about how it was made, how the deck was produced with original line art, and talks about using spreads. It gives you a few spreads, including some really basic ones. And then it talks about specifically reading with the Alice Tarot. And then it's got things like, you know, puzzles and riddles, dreams and reality, madness and sanity. Brilliant book. And it talks a bit about Lewis Carroll, and then you've got all the Alice and the Psychoanalysts. I think we've had enough of them for a while. And then the card descriptions. And then we go through the majors, the minors. Oh, the majors, I think majors, minors, courts. Oh, and then I forgot at the back of this book, which is kind of cool, they've got a very short version of each of the books, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Both decks cover both books. They've got the cards are mixed up. They're not in any particular order, but they've got Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. And I'm just going to have a little bit of my pie because I can't resist the smell of it. The back of the Bubba deck, it's reminds me of what, I don't know if that's a William Morris print or not, put it upside down, but it looks a bit like one. I hope this light's going to be okay for you to see the cards in. And then the back of the Barbara Moore Llewellyn deck is Alice and the March Hare, and the stopwatch in the middle. That's not really reversible. Oh, you've got to Drink Me. So it's probably not meant to read reversals. But because you've got Through the Looking Glass, which is reversed, then you don't really need them, I guess. And if you know anything about Alice at all, well, there you go. There's been movies. I didn't actually like the Tim Burton movie much, although I usually do. The best Alice movie I saw, well, a long time ago, was no, it was before my kids were born. I can't remember when it came out or who made it. It wasn't the Disney one, but it was closer to the, a lot of them go on their own little trip, and it was closer to the books than the others. But anyway, so cardstock, I like it. It's shinier than Llewellyn cardstock used to be, like in the original Green Witch. There were two Green Witches. One was very cardboardy, which I also like. Llewellyn could be a tale of many cardstocks because they've tried, bless them, so many times. This is perfect thickness, really. I mean, I really like it, and it shuffles beautifully, and it's not overly glossy. It just slides and is really nice, but you can see it's got a little bit of sheen. And it is a bit shinier than the original Green Witch cardstock, and much shinier than the second Green Witch cardstock. And this is like a bit like the Victorian Romantic, if you've got that Babadeck, the last one they did, the 3rd edition, I think. Doesn't have gilded edges, but it's got the beautiful gilding, like gold, like the Tarot of Prague. You can just about see it on the cards. When I first got this deck, I didn't really like it much. I put it away, and you know, and then I thought, oh, and then I got it out again, and I thought, oh, I don't know. Then I really started to appreciate it. But as I said, the book is fantastic. So now I'm going to move this a little bit closer. I'm going to try and show you the cards side by side. God, why am I so messy? I have such messy setups, really. Right, so we've got the Fool from the Baba Studio Tarot, which is Alice going down the rabbit hole, which is pretty obvious for a Fool card from that story. And again, the same one has been chosen just about, except this one she's chasing her cat, and the other one she's just met the white rabbit. She hasn't met the white rabbit in this one. So she's about to go down the rabbit hole. And then we've got the Magician, who is the first person we meet in the tarot after the Fool, and she meets the white rabbit, so that's kind of fitting as well for the Baba deck. But the Barbara Moore chose the Magician to be the caterpillar, which is also kind of fitting because with his hooky pipe and that is very, you know, Hubble Bubble, Toil and Trouble, magic mushrooms, and a hooker, and he's still got all the tools with him. For the High Priestess, we've got Alice herself. Now this one's from Through the Looking Glass, the beginning of the Looking Glass, when she goes up through the mantel shelf and looks into the world below, the room below. But this one's a little bit more cartoony, but they've chosen the same theme, the beginning of Through the Looking Glass, when she goes through the mirror. And I think she's talking to her cats at the time, and she starts imagining a game of chess and talking about the mirror being a veil to go through, and then it turns into one. So the Empress, in the Barbara Moore book, we've chosen the White Queen, who's very funky with her modern day 2018 looking with her pink hair. And Alice is helping her. Might be when she lost her wool cloak. Oh yeah, she lost her cloak, I think, and Alice found it for her. And the Empress in the Babadeck is the Duchess with the baby. Again, quite a normal choice. So the Emperor in this deck is the Griffin. In the Baba Studios deck. Oh, we've got another strange creature here. We've got the Dodo. And that must be from the Dance of the Caucus. So that's at the beginning of the Wonderland story, when, well, not quite the beginning, but they all kind of appear around her, I think, and then they do a dance. The Hierophant has traded places with the Magician, so we've got the Caterpillar as the Hierophant here, and I think he makes a pretty good Hierophant, because, you know, it's about what you believe in smoke and mirrors and stuff like that. And I really love that card. I just really like the colours and the fly agaric, the toadstools, and just everything about it. And the Hierophant in the Barbara Moore deck is the Cheshire Cat, who equally makes a pretty good Hierophant. Although he does kind of keep disappearing in losing his body. But I suppose that could be relevant in a way to some religions. The Lovers, we have Through the Looking Glass, the Walrus and the Carpenter from the Babadeck, who they're funny lovers, but they kind of work well together in a way. They're like an old couple that you imagine have been there together. But the Babadeck also gives you a second lovers card, which is kind of made up really, but it's the flamingos from the croquet game. You know, they used the flamingos as mallets. And they're arranged to look like a kind of heart, in case people didn't like the other lovers card. And the Lovers in Barbara Moore as Alice, we've got the Queen of Hearts, the Knave of Hearts, and then Alice, which is a bit strange really, I guess. But I think from what I remember, the book said that it's because Alice is saying, hang on, let's think about this, and the Queen is saying, no, off of his head in the moment of passion. So it's about choice and passion and spur of the moment stuff. The Chariot, we've got Through the Looking Glass, the train journey with the goat, and that's when, and there's a lot of insects that come out on that journey. Oh, there's one, I can see one down there. That might be the gnat. And the Man in White. And for the Barbara Moore deck, we've got Alice trying to manoeuvre her flamingo and make it into a mallet for croquet. The animals get treated pretty badly in Alice in Wonderland. Strength, we've got Alice in Through the Looking Glass when you got the Lion and the Unicorn, and I think they were going to be fighting for her hand. No, were they fighting for who was king? Oh, it's a long time since I read the story. It's on the chessboard, I know, and I think they might be fighting to see which one's going to be king. And strength in the Barbara Moore deck is again through the looking glass, and that's when she gets lost in the forest and meets the fawn, and she holds on to him to keep her safe. The Hermit in the Barbara Moore deck is the White Knight. He's kind of a nice knight. I'm not quite sure I was chosen as the Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. Alice chasing the rabbit, and that must be the clock and the cards from the game. The time, racing against time, which you're never going to win because it keeps going around with you. And we've got here, oh sorry, I didn't do the Hermit. The Hermit, is that the Mock Turtle? Is that the Mock Turtle? Must be. So that's from Through the Looking Glass, I think. And then the Wheel of Fortune, oh, that's at the beginning when Alice is using the fan and it makes her bigger and smaller. That's, I suppose, yeah, she doesn't really know what's going on. Then Justice, we've got the Court, the King and Queen of Hearts when she's off with his head for the Knave of Hearts. And for Justice in the Baba deck, look at this beautiful card. Oh, it's the mouse's tail, you know, at the beginning when she meets the mouse. Oh wow, and it's written on there, can you see that? Look at the beautiful, and look at the kitty with the wig on, the judge's wig on. And it talks about judge and jury, but I can't read it in the, oh, I was trying hard to read it in the light. Fury said to a mouse that he met in the house, let us both go to law. Anyway, it goes on, but it is a story about justice and judges and jurors. So that's a good choice. The Hanged Man, we got the Mad Hatter in the Barbara Moore deck. And we've got the Cheshire Cat, who certainly takes a different view on things, in the Baba deck. Death, we've got Alice and the Eat Me and Drink Me, which is a kind of quite apt, I guess, because it's kind of new life, like either way she goes. And then literally, we've got more Death trying to get his head chopped off by the Queen of Hearts in that card. Temperance, when Alice is contemplating the bits of the mushroom from Wonderland, and exactly the same one when she takes a mushroom in, oh, I put them in the wrong pile, I'm going through the looking glass, in the Barbara Moore deck. The Devil in Barbara Moore is the Tea Party, or the Mad Hatter and the March Hare, and I can kind of see that. It was a bit of a horrible tea party, really. It wasn't a normal tea party by any means, but it kind of went on and got weird and strange, and I guess cakes could be temptation. And then we've got Jabberwocky for the Devil in the Baba deck. And if you know the story, he's probably the most devil-like, and I need another piece of pie. Excuse me for eating in front of you. Right. The Tower. This is the Barbara Moore deck. Everything is going flying. The Queen is not happy. And more obvious one, Humpty Dumpty from Through the Looking Glass in the Baba deck. The Star, we've got Alice's sister. And she's actually at the beginning and the end of the books. The same choice for the Barbara Moore deck. The moon, we've got the walrus and the carpenter and the poor little lobsters. I think they're quite a good moon. But Alice is falling down the rabbit hole right from the beginning of Wonderland is the moon in this deck. And the sun, you've got Alice, who's the queen herself, and the two queens discussing everything. Looks a bit Three of Cupsy. No naked baby though. And this one, more kind of naked baby, like more like a traditional sun, is Tweedledee and Tweedledum from Through the Looking Glass. But they're a bit, I don't like their faces. That's what put me off this deck. The heads always look too big for the bodies at first, but I guess I can handle that card. I never like sun cards in the tarot. I always think they're pretty ugly. These cards aren't very much in the picture. I'm trying pushing them up more so you can see it more. Maybe tidy them up a bit more. Right, so Judgment. We have the White Rabbit reading things out at the court in Wonderland. And pretty similar, the Queen deciding the fate in the same garden party. In the world, we've got Alice on top of the world. She hasn't got a crown on, so she's not queen yet, but she's got the world at her feet. And Alice as queen on the chessboard from Through the Looking Glass. So those are the majors. Deserve tea. More tea, more tea. Drink my tea black and I drink my tea strong. That teapot reminds me of a clanger. There used to be a program called The Clangers and they were space creatures and they went whoop. They didn't speak, they just made noises. Whoop. Right, now, nothing's showing very well here. I'm not a professional video person, so there we go. Now, in the minors, Wonderland Tarot, Barbara Moore deck, is a bit more, kind of takes themes away from the story, but they're not actual illustrations from the story. Some are, but a lot of them aren't. The aces are all just a general card, so like the Ace of Wands. And I'm trying to find it hard. It's hard to sit down because I've still got a bad leg and I'm trying to find it, try and make myself comfortable. So I'm on the floor here. And the Ace of Wands here, we've got the flamingo and the poor little hedgehogs that were used as croquet balls. Let's try and tidy these up a bit. And then we got the Two of Wands, which is Alice looking through at the garden. And Two of Wands is Alice in checking out the chessboard landing through the looking glass. And the Three of Wands is Alice checking out the chessboard in through the looking glass. And the White Rabbit checking out the time and watching the ships, or waiting for a ship to come in, I guess. This Four of Wands is like not from the story, but it's just a kind of traditional Four of Wands illustration using Alice and her cats and the House of Cards and things from the stories. And this Four of Wands is the lobsters when they go for the walk with the walrus and the carpenter and they get eaten. Five of Wands, we've got the poor hedgehogs that get used as croquet balls. And the Five of Wands in this one is like the chaos of the cards when they have the croquet game. And it is chaos. It reminds me of Morris Dancers, actually, that card. Six of Wands. Alice thinking, what on earth is going on here? And you've got the themes, you've got the White Rabbit, and I don't know if that's a lizard thing. And then we've got the Six of Wands again. We've got this is from the second deck, I think. You've got the white, that's a White King. Yeah, I think it's the White King. Going to victory of some kind or other. But it's very, you can see the laurel wreath, it's very Rider-Waite-Smithy. And the Seven of Wands is when she gets, I think that's at the court, when they have the court and she gets gigantic. And they all come at her with their sticks, but except she looks smaller here and the sticks look big. But in the story, I think they were croquet mallets, if I've got that right. And the Seven of Wands in that one is when she's grown way too big. And she's putting her hand out of the window of the little house at the beginning of Wonderland. Eight of Wands. Again, it's got the chessboard, so it's kind of through the looking glass, but it seems to be a mixture of both decks, of both stories. But it gives that idea of speed. And this one is the Nine of Wands, and that's got Tweedledee or Tweedledum. I'm not sure which one it is, with his pot on his head. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm getting out of order, sorry. Eight of Wands. Oh, that's Alice and the Red Queen when they're zapping through the forest at 100 miles an hour and getting nowhere because they keep going the wrong way because they don't realise they're going through the mirror, so they have to go backwards to get anywhere. And because time's all screwed up, they have to be going the right way. Nice card though. Look at the sun, the way they've caught the light in that. I'm doing these very much out of order. And the Nine of Wands, again, is Tweedledum and Tweedledee with their pots and pans and junk. Ten of Wands. We got the Knave of Hearts. Oh, no, it's not. It's the Ten of Hearts with his... Knave of Hearts. With his basket of hedgehog croquet balls. And the Page of Wands is the White Rabbit, which is a very relevant messenger. I mean, hares and rabbits have long in mythology been messengers through the worlds. Certainly in my life too. So I think he makes a really good Page of Wands. And what a beautiful card that is. Now, the Ten of Wands here is a guinea pig, but I don't remember that in the story. And what's he got in that? Oh, he's got little cakes. Is it little, no, apples? I don't know. Not sure what he's about. The Page of Wands, that must be the lizard. Oh, she meets a lizard at the beginning, so maybe that's him. And then the Knight of Wands is the lion, comes through the looking glass. Oh, the Knight of Wands, this is through the looking glass. That's a rocking horse fly, and he's from, where does he come? Oh, the train journey with the goat. That's it. Oh, this reminds me of East Anglia with the poppy fields. The Queen of Wands. We've got a red queen. And the Queen of Wands here again. Is that the Queen of Hearts? I'm not sure if she's the Queen of Hearts or the Red Queen. She's got a heart. And then the King of Wands. And the King of Wands in this one is the Mad Hatter. Ace of Cups. That's quite appropriate. Alice with at the beginning when she's drinking the potion. And then that's a very generically traditional Ace of Cups, like all the aces are in this deck. The Two of Cups, we've got the Mad Hatter and the March Hare. Quite the partnership, and the teapot. And the Two of Cups here, we've got the March Hare and Alice at the tea party. I suppose the cups have got to be the tea party, really, a lot of them. And the Three of Cups, we've got Alice, all the three queens dancing around together. And the Three of Cups again, the three queens at this time. They're in a bluebell wood, which is a beautiful card. Oh, the Four of Cups. The Mock Turtle, which is kind of sad. I think that's a really good Four of Cups because it is kind of watery. Look at the dolphin. And the Mock Turtle was pretty sad. The Four of Cups in this one are the queens asleep. And Alice is contemplating. I think that's when she went off and found the chessboard. I can't remember, but it's from Through the Looking Glass. Five of Cups. The Tea Party with the Mad Hatter. And yeah, that was a bit, I guess it was a little bit Five of Cups. See? It was a bit doolally. And the Five of Cups in this one is kind of cool because it's got Alice. And because she keeps getting, you know, deciding which way is better, like bigger or smaller. And either way, something's not quite right. You can't ever have it all, basically. And then the Six of Cups is Alice and the White Rabbit munching cakes and the Flying Elephant. And the Six of Cups in this one is the two cats. Oh, Through the Looking Glass, Seven of Cups, the Talking Garden. That's kind of cool. I guess you could choose which strange flower am I going to talk to. I think the flowers were quite rude to her, actually. And the Eight of Cups, or the baby that turns into the piglet. And the Seven of Cups in that one is the... When's that? Oh, I think that's at the beginning when she must be... Not sure. It might be when she goes through the tunnel. Or there's different doors. I think that's from Wonderland. And the Eight of Cups is kind of generic again. I think she gets kicked out of the Duchess's house, I think. The Nine of Cups, the poor little dormouse who they were nasty to. And the Nine of Cups in that one is the caterpillar. Maybe he thinks he's almost got it all. Again, I'm showing you the cards. I haven't read both of the books all the way through, so I'm not professing to know where it all... I'm just using my knowledge of the stories to work out roughly where the cards came from. Well, the Ten of Cups is the White King and the White Queen, which is quite fitting because they were probably the happiest couple of sorts. But again, it's quite generic with the 10 Cups and Pippi. And the Ten of Cups in this one is the Tea Party, which wasn't actually that happy, but there we go. Page of Cups. She's caught a fish in her cup. And that Page of Cups is from Wonderland. Oh, that must be the invitation to the tea party for the Duchess. The Knight of Cups is the unicorn from Through the Looking Glass. And this Knight of Cups is the... Is that the Red Knight? He's got red, so maybe that's the Red Knight. The Queen of Cups is the White Queen. And the King of Cups is... He must be the King of Hearts. Alice is the Queen of Cups. And the King of Cups here is the King of Hearts, again. Right, the Ace of Swords is a scene from the tea party. And there's the rabbit's pocket watch. And again, generic. The Two of Swords are when she's going and asking the knitting sheep the way. And they were in a shop and it became a boat, I think. And the things on the shelves kept disappearing. Oh no, they're actually in the boat, they're not in the shop. So this Two of Swords is very generic. Again, you've got signposts. Are they Tweedledum and Tweedledee? No. March Hare, Mad Hatter and the Cheshire Cat. Again, it's very, unlike the Three of Swords, with the cakes with the knives in it. very like traditional generic-y images. And the Three of Swords there is Alice when she's too big to get into the garden, when she's just arrived in Wonderland and keeps changing size. Four of Swords, the Dormouse at the tea party, and the Four of Swords is the Red King when he fell asleep, and that's through the looking glass because he's dreaming of Alice. Oh, that's what they say he's doing anyway. And the Five of Swords is the off with his head. And the Five of Swords in this one is the White Knight who kept falling off his horse, and he was in through the looking glass. Six of Swords, well, I guess it had to be the boat and the sheep because it's the only boat in the story that I can think of. And it's the same choice in both decks. The Six of Swords. Right, I'm going to have to... Ow! Oh, my leg. The floor is hard. I should have got a cushion. Okay, Seven of Swords. The Knave of Hearts is stealing away with the tarts. Taking the spoils of war. In one of the books, it likens him to Robin Hood. I don't know which one it is. Stealing from the rich to give to the poor. And again, it's the same card, the Knave of Hearts. Sneaking off with the spoils of war from the Wonderland Tarot. Eight of Swords is very fitting. Alice is kind of feeling a bit stuck and I want to get out of this place. And the Eight of Swords here is again generic. I keep saying generic, you know what I mean? Traditional Rider-Waite Smithy with bits of all of the stories, but also the bound and tied up Andromeda, however you say it. That's always reminds me of that story, that Eight of Swords card. So, shifting again, sorry. The Nine of Swords, oh, that's a gross card. Remember the talking leg of mutton in Through the Looking Glass, that was horrible. It was not very nice. But then just not long after that she gets to be a queen, I think. Was she already a queen? I can't remember. And this Nine of Swords is... Oh, that's a really good Nine of Swords. I think that's a good one because that's the White Rabbit who's always worrying about everything. So he makes a really good Nine of Swords kind of nightmare, worry and anxiety card. And then the Ten of Swords. Oh, poor old Humpty. Again, that's pretty cool choice. Oh no, they're both really good. The little lobsters. The Ten of Swords in this one, and this is Through the Looking Glass too, and it's sad. Page of Swords. The Jabberwocky. And the Page of Swords in that one, he's one of the messengers, but I'm not sure which one he is. He must be the King of Hearts messenger because he's wearing hearts. One was called Haya or Higher, and one was called... I can't remember. They both began with H. Haya and Hater or something like that. Hatter. The Knight of Swords is the Unicorn. And the Knight of Swords here is the Red Knight. And the Queen of Swords is the Queen of... Is she the Queen of Hearts? Yeah. Oh, both got the same... Or is she the Red Queen? She's the Red Queen, not the Queen of Hearts. And the King of Swords, we've got in the Wonderland Tarot, we've got Humpty Dumpty. And we've got the Red King in the King of Swords. Ace of Coins, Alice and Eat Me. Again, very traditional, basic Ace of Coins in the Wonderland deck. Two of Coins is a Mad Hatter, juggling things, trying to get everything together. And the Two of Coins here is Alice juggling with the flamingo, trying to make it into a croquet mallet, or work out how to use it. The 3 of coins is the cook, who was probably a terrible cook, trying to improve her skills possibly. And again, a little bit more skill when they're painting the roses. And have to keep painting them to match whatever queens come in, I think. Oops, the 4 of Pentacles. The Dormouse. Well, I suppose a teapot is kind of a homely kind of thing, but the Dormouse was a little bit sad. And the 4 of coins here, we've got Humpty Dumpty and the Raven. The 5 of coins, oh, that's kind of cool. That's when she's she meets the fawn in the dangerous forest, so they're kind of both outsiders, I guess, so that's sort of fitting. And the 5 of Pentacles in this one is when the footman, the frog footman, drags her away when after she's become a queen in Through the Looking Glass, or before she becomes a queen, but it's already got her name above the door. Again, I can't remember the whole of the stories. The 6 of coins is the menagerie of animals that she gets to meet. Oh, that's in the beginning. Oh, that's in Wonderland, when she gives them sweets out of her pocket. Before or after they do the dance, because it's her turn to give a prize. And when they go swimming in the pool of tears that she cried. And then the 6 of coins, or 6 of Pentacles in this deck, is the tea party. I suppose they're sharing stuff. And the 7 of Pentacles is improving. Oh, that's like the 7 of Pentacles in the Deviant Moon, when they're painting the, like with a little witch, my favourite card, and she's looking at the tree. So that's from Wonderland. And the 7 of coins in this one, again, oh, they're doing the same thing. They're getting the tree, decorating the roses. 8 of Pentacles, not sure which story this is from, but the pencil, the only pencil I can remember was in Through the Looking Glass, and it was the king who had it, I think the White King, not the White Queen, or maybe it was the other king, because Alice took the pencil. Anyway, I know it was too big for him to manage, and Alice was trying to help, but I think it was the king, not the queen. Whatever. 8 of Pentacles are the 8 tarts. 9 of coins is either the beginning or the end of the story, when Alice is mucking around and the kitten plays with the wall at the beginning of Through the Looking Glass, or it could be at the end of Through the Looking Glass, I'm not sure. And the 9 of coins in this one is when she's in the flower garden with the talking flowers, I think, which in the other deck was a 7 of cups. 10 of coins, again we got the Mad Hatter, who appears to be juggling the cakes, although I don't remember him doing that in the story. Bit of leeway going on, like, well, they did the same with the movies. And the 10 of Pentacles with Alice at home again after all the adventures, fast asleep with her kiddies. And then the Page of Pentacles is the other messenger. Again, I can't remember his name. It looks like Robin Hood. Because there were 2 messengers, but I can't remember. Then Hare and Hatter or something like that. Hattie. And the Page of Coins is the March Hare with the cakes. The Knight of Coins again is the White Knight, sitting there with his upside down basket, which he thought the bees were going to come to. And the Knight of Pentacles again, that must be the same. No, that's Tweedledum. Oh yeah, it's Tweedledum or Tweedledee. I don't know which is which. On a little donkey, because he's got all his pots and pans on his head. And then the Queen of Coins, we've got the White Queen in the Baba deck. And I love this one. This Queen of Pentacles is that's the shop, the sheep in the shop, the same sheep that goes in the boat. And when Alice first meets a sheep, it's in a shop. and Alice sees things on the shelf, but she can't get them because every time she goes to get them, they disappear, and all the shelves around them have got stuff in, but when the thing she wants isn't there. So I think that's quite a very cool card for the Queen of Pentacles. And then the King of Coins, the White King. And the King of Coins in this one is the Mad Hatter. So there we have it. A Tale of Two Alices, 51 minutes long. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope the light's not too bad. I hope my rambling's not too bad. I think I've said most things I want to say. As I said, it's just a quick flip through to show you the differences in the two decks and the approaches. As far as the books go, get them both. This book is fantastic. It's just got insight, and because I think it just fits the tarot so well. Not so much all the illustrations and stuff, like I said, in this book they're very RWS-y, and a lot of them are quite traditional, but the insight in the way the story fits into the cards is really good. So I would absolutely highly recommend both books, certainly. Even if you didn't get this deck, you can still get the book, and I think the book is brilliant. Although without the deck it might be a bit difficult. It's just quite a cool way it looks at the tarot though, but only if you're into the Wonderland story. Because it just gives you sort of so much insight into it. And this book's got the basic RW, like you can see, it's got the RWS meanings, and then it has further notes, and it talks about the place of it in the story, and then it just goes into other stuff as well. So there we are. My battery's running out on my phone. A Tale of Two Alices. And on that note, I'll leave you and say bye-bye, and I'm going to finish my tea and my pie.